Hello guys, welcome, good evening. Hope everybody had a really good weekend and good start of the week. So guys, yes, today we started a new week and the day didn't start really good. We'll talk about
CNSP.
we'll talk
CNSP.
about the coin loss in the morning, and then we'll talk about we shorted the coin as well, but it was a loss overall. And then we'll talk about big winner on Lulu. Why was Lulu a winner? Nvidia long, TTD long, Tesla long, and when we talk about Microsoft and few pennies. So big earnings weeks, guys. If those of you who attended my weekend webinar, so we are ready to rock and roll in the earnings. Get some plays rolling. So it's a great time to come join our community to trade together and in this earnings season. So, anyways, let's start it. So, guys, as always, was up early 1 hour before the market opened. We went through all the news. So today news really helped, right? There was a bunch of news. Of course, there was one fake news which faked us all out. But anyways, wake up today. We do this wake up summary every day. We look at the macro environment, the futures, what's SPY doing, what's QQQ doing. We look at everything in the morning in the community. We do that. Then we look at all the pre-market movers. So Pfizer was there, Lulu was there. So Lulu was high watch today because Lulu was gaining because it was added to S&P 500. And we have traded this setup before. Every time we trade an S&P 500 inclusion, it works on the long side. So I'll show you. We'll go through that trade. And then UNH was on watch from last week. JPM was on watch. Apple iPhone was gapping down because of the disappointing start of sales in China. So we were watching that. And Dollar General, Nvidia was on high watch because JP Morgan said data center and tech leadership is getting better. So Nvidia was on watch today. So Lulu was on high watch. So Lulu high watch on S&P inclusion levels 392, 394 or 400. I was on voice right 5 minutes before the market open, and we reviewed some more news: Apple, Nvidia, Pfizer, NVO, Lulu, and a bunch of others. And here you go, guys. My levels were ready. You guys can screenshot the levels. Our levels were ready. SPY really worked nicely today for our 435C. How we long SPY. All guidance in the community, and QQQ 367C. And rules were simple today, guys. The rule I gave in the community today was if VIX rejects 1840, we will be long market. If VIX breaks 18, we will be long market. So that was the plan, guys. That is how we nailed today on SPY QQQ longs. That's how we did that. So let's look at our so let me show you guys. So as you see here was the plan for today. VIX under 1850, 18 bullish buys, over bearish buys. If bounce of 18, we can see some rejection. Push of 1850, we'll see some rejection, and we'll take our profits on 10 AM rule. So we had this plan. That's how we nailed this SPY long and QQQ long. I was on voice talking about, you see this breakout. So we traded this live on the voice. That's what I talked about. So watch list was ready, guys. Going through all the news: Pfizer, Lulu, DHI, Red, Sava, UNH, CVS, JPM, TTD. And then we were marketplace. So there's a news plays and there's a marketplace which go with the market. So there was Apple, Microsoft, AMD, Nvidia, all those main names that we play. Then we keep eye on QQQ, VIX, US dollar, and 10-year yields. That helps us analyze the market. What is the trend? And we are always on the right trend of the market. Today it was a bullish market. The whole community was on the bullish side. All right. So the plan was, the coin news was that SEC has approved the Bitcoin spot ETF. It came from a third source which had like 2 million. It was a known source in Bitcoin and crypto industry. It was credible. It's supposed to be credible. And that's why the news came that they have Bitcoin is allowed, and it came right at open, and coin started pushing, and that's how we longed coin. That was the first trade of the day. So I longed it right away, small size, Then it was dipping to EMA Cloud. I longed it small size, and averaged in. But then I realized, just like we see every day, the candles were not making higher low. They were not making higher highs. So I already could see some warning signals that something is wrong. And then here you can see I was long right at open, that something is wrong. And then suddenly they came out that this news is fake and false. And that's when we got out. I took almost a $2 per share loss, maybe a little bit more. Took some loss on my calls, and then I turned short right away on coin. Right, I took some puts right away, so I was able to make some, but not big enough to recover my loss in the coin. So if I show you the timestamps on coin, what we did. So I was long coin, as you see, right at open. 75 was my risk, but then again the news came to start coming in that the coin is it's a false news. So I took a loss in first 15 minutes and I was out. And then I was on the voice talking about that we can short it, and then we shorted it a little bit. I wanted to see a full gap fill, but it was bouncing off 73.50, nearly close to the gap fill. Shorted around 75, maybe just took $1 and I was out. I mean, I lost more than $2 a share, made $1 a share. And it's a part of game, guys. We can't blame anybody. We cannot cry. We cannot do anything. It's a part of the game. We took the loss, we moved on, right? So it's easier to understand. And I don't get blind on the news. When I see that my system, what is my system? My system at open wants to see higher highs, higher lows, holding the 512 EMA clouds. I want to see holding the 3450 EMA clouds. When I don't see that holding, then I know something is wrong. So the price always leads the news. It was already falling, so mostly everybody knew it's a false news, and that's how it fell back down, and we were out, right? So then let's see what were our other morning trades. So another trade for the day was, guys, TTD. So that was the trade right at open, TTD. Lulu was long. I will talk about Lulu in a bit. TTD I longed. SPY QQ was bullish bias. I was on the voice talking about them calling it. AMD, I personally didn't long it, but I told everyone about the levels and the bullish bias. Tesla I longed, and I longed Nvidia as well, right at open. So I had TTD, Nvidia, Lulu, and a little bit Tesla. So those were my trades, and let's see what happened. So if I talk about TTD, guys, here you go. TTD, reason I was looking at TTD today, because of a big sell-off yesterday, right? So when there's a big sell-off yesterday, and then it's turning the EMA clouds back, and I know if the market is bullish, I can get a extension bounce, right? So it was extended too much. Its daily ATR is what, $3, and it fell from 85 to $76 in on Friday and after hours. And of course there was some news, insider selling. It didn't bother me much, but I was watching this curl of TTD back from this EMA cloud, this curl, this when it reclaimed EMA clouds. That's why I wanted TTD. That's why I said keep eyes in case it gets over the EMA cloud, right? So you can see that. So that was my reasoning. So give me a second here. So yeah, so my initial risk was this area 77, 78, right? But then when it dipped, because I never use I never use hard stops. I always use mental stops. So it dipped, but then of course there's a pre-market level as well. So I was like, let's watch it. And when it dipped and it bounced, it reclaimed the EMA clouds right away. And what did I say? Back over EMA clouds. Then I was confident about it, and then I said I want to see HOD. We got the HOD, and I added some here, added some on the dip, held through with the pre-market risk, and almost got by end of the day, almost not really $2 per share, but it was close, right? So because it hit 81.43, so we got that, so almost $2. So as you see, so TTD was a nice trade, EMA cloud trade. The setup was gap down long and the extension bounce. Extension bounce is when I think something is extended too much, and if 10 minutes is showing me a reversal, of course the market was bullish, right? So when market is bullish, I focus on such plays. So that's how we got TTD. So that was, guys, TTD. Now let's look at LULU. So LULU, what was the plan on LULU? Let's take a look. So, one second. So plan on LULU was made before the market opened. So plan was high watch on S&P inclusion. Levels are 392, 394 and 400. And guys, when something is included into S&P, it's mostly because what I've seen from my experience or my past trades, we get a bullish, we get a bullish move. But we don't just get blinded by the news. No, we don't just get blinded by the news. We see if the price is doing what we expect it to do. Yes, price was doing. It was breaking out right away out of pre-market highs. It was holding and flagging at 10 a.m. It was making a flag at 10 a.m. and I longed it right out of the gate, right? So I longed it right out of the gate. You can see here 1/3 long. So what I say is first size smaller. Once you see it holding, you can scale into your winners. So I longed LULU right at open, as you see. Now let's see what happened. So then it was all day guidance by me on LULU. So LULU, this was a breakout 410.76. It started to break out for that flag right at open, and that's where you can add more. Your average is low, and when it's breaking out, you can average in. Your average becomes a little higher. You can push your average to somewhere here 407, and then it's breaking out of 4010. You are scaling into the winners, and then next leg. So then I say log sum. 415C calls, which I talked about on voice, were decent movers. They went 100%, and more. Then its LULU was also a 52-week breakout. If you look at the daily chart, LULU was a 52-week breakout right here. This was a nice daily breakout. So when these things happen, these give you an added confidence about the setup. Not only was there as news, right? Not only was there a news, which is very bullish. The technical chart on daily was bullish as well. What was my risk level? 400, right? So I used my 400 risk level, right? I risked $5 a share, and then how much did I make, right? I made almost $3 per share, let's say $2 per share. So that was still, and if you took a lotto or if you took an option, it was still 100% trades, because I know a lot of people have smaller account, they cannot trade shares, so you can just take one call, like you took a 415C, 415C, and it pushed higher 100%. So yeah, so that was LULU, guys, and it was strong. Even when market was dipping in the mid of the day, LULU did not. LULU held up, never broke 512 EMAs, right? Yeah, this candle came down, but it never really, but it's also a hammer candle. It never really came back under, and it held that and held all day cloud. And I was out on LULU. My target was 420. It did not meet my target fully, but then there was still some calls coming in. I expect LULU to continue push tomorrow as well. I know some people are swinging it, but I was out end of the day. It was a good enough trade for me from 405 to 4018. So I was happy with that. So that was a LULU win today, guys. You see, we lost in coin, but then we made money in other trades. We just can't keep crying about a lost trade. We have to move on. Okay, so let's look at Nvidia. As you see, I shared a news on Nvidia in the morning. So now I longed Nvidia at 939. Why did I long Nvidia? Because I was looking at the strength. Semiconductors were showing me a strength. right? And also Nvidia got back over EMA Clouds. That is why I was bullish on Nvidia. So there was an EMA Cloud reversal setup. So I longed 931, I longed little higher 456, then it dipped, but my risk was 450, right? My risk was 450. Look at my comments. Risk 450, dipped a little, held a dip. I added little more into that dip. So built a nice little average of 455s. And then whole day it was the push, and there was a lot of call flow coming in. We kept eyes on the call flow. And even when it dipped back to 3450 EMA, when the market dipped without the news, there was still a lot of call flow coming in. Look at this, 460 calls on ask coming, lot of Nvidia 460 calls coming, and that's why Nvidia against bounced from that, right? So you can see my time stamped long here, and then my guidance all day on Nvidia. So Nvidia was not a big size, you know, I was just following the flow, and I was using the 450 level, because when I have such a clear level to risk and EMA clouds are bullish, then I have to take that trade, right? Because that is my setup. EMA clouds bullish, they were bullish, bearish all day on Friday, and today they turned bullish, right? So we turned bullish. So that's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it. All right, guys, let's look at our other trade that we did. So we covered our LULU trade, we covered our Nvidia and TTD. Let's look at Tesla. So what was Tesla doing today? So Tesla reclaimed the bullish bias. So I was on the voice talking about Tesla, and I was scalping Tesla, and I told everyone in the community that we can use 250 as our risk, right? So we use 250 as a risk, and then it started to pull back, right? Then I just reduced my size, because my risk was 250, but I reduced my size to avoid a drawdown. But then what happened? It dipped with the market, reclaimed, and then it showed us a nice breakout setup. Look carefully, guys. Look at these, my custom price alerts. So I set up price alerts for the breakout, and then breaking out. I said breaking out at 253.43. Even after that, it went $2 up, right? And then there was a lot of call flow I was sharing. So we stream these free option flow, bunch of free option flow scanners, even on community that tells us about the flow. So even Tesla, then you see it ended up day at 255, right? I mean, it was okay. It's very sluggish, $4 by end of the day per share, small size. You know, if you had 255 calls, they moved nicely. So nothing crazy, but still, decent win. So I was a very small size on, as you see, I cut my size when it was fading down, but you can always add back your size. So that was, guys, Tesla. But the main winner today was LULU and TTD were our main ones. And let's talk about AMD. So I already talked about the market, guys. The rules were simple. We long SPY QQ. If you want to see, okay, I can show you here. If you want to see again what I said in the morning, I said SPY QQQ all are the bullish trend. So here is the recap. Okay, VIX plan, right? SPY QQQ bullish bias. I was on the voice talking about scalping SPY and QQQ. Then this breakout over SPY at the open, this nice tight pattern, right? And my guidance about SPY QQQ and VIX fading, 435 calls that I gave in the morning went up nicely. So, and then this daily chart. So all by a repeatable setup, guys. Nothing the gut feeling, right? So we were talking about Microsoft as well, not my personal trade, but I was guiding people on the Microsoft as well today, that how it was breaking out. It was relatively stronger. Let's look at AMD. So AMD was basically, the level I gave on AMD was 105 in the pre-market, and then it was breaking out of that 105. So once that 105 level breaks, right, once that 105 level breaks and it gets over EMA cloud, you can risk that level to long. And it was also nice little long, and even though it pulled back, that's fine, but it held 512 EMA clouds, right? So and before it broke down of 512 here, you could have stopped out here, and then rest of the day it was just choppiness. And there were a few penny stocks today, guys. Seco was by William. Really went almost went 100% by the time William was calling. So proud of our traders on the trading floors. All day they are calling so many ideas, plays, on our trading floors. Hundreds of traders on trading floors. So Seco was one, and I think there was another one, MNST. There was TPST. Yeah, we traded a penny stock TPST for some scalps over the 5 psychological break. So we were talking about TPST here if you want to see. So I mean, there was all day discussions about TPST. High watch. William, our expert on the small caps, was guiding us. So you see the 5 break, and I joined on the 5 break, and my target was 572 breakout, and then it pushed higher. And then I was looking at, once it broke out of yesterday's highs, things always squeeze higher, right? You break out of yesterday highs, then you squeeze higher. So but I took off early, I had to go, so I took off early. I was looking for 720, and then I had to step away. I took it off, but it did go to 745. It's still very strong after hours. Maybe it pushes some more. So guys, yeah, these were a bunch of our plays in yeah, OPGN didn't kind of work. We were watching that as well, for one breakout. I mean, it pushed from 90 to 1, but it failed to break out over the 1, so that kind of did not work. There were a bunch of other trades. There were MTC. So we keep eyes on the low float penny stocks as well, guys, because there's a theme going on where these are running like crazy. So yeah. So anything else? Let me quickly look. So I guess we covered mostly everything, guys. So we are good. And earning season's up here, guys. Very excited. Going to kill it in the earning season. Join the community if you want to trade with me, or else I'll see you tomorrow. Keep learning, keep grinding. Take care.